Welcome to the Voice of Reason. I'm your host, Skilo Slim. Today, I got a special guest with me, Mr. Kalil, a local business owner. So we just came to express what we feel and what we believe. And I hope you agree. And if you don't, let us know. So once again, welcome, my brother.
Thank you.
How you doing, man? It's good to see
I'm
you
good.
today.
I'm good. Thank you.
Definitely, man, definitely. So you a local business owner, right?
Correct.
Correct. Why don't you give the people a little intro of who you are?
Kalil is a person that always believes that blacks should own every business in their community.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
was
saying?
always taught that.
Always. I swear, and it don't even have to be big. Me, I just do little small businesses and, enough to where I can pay my bills, eat decent, and that's it. I live way below my means. I'm what you call a minimalist.
Right.
But when I go out, cause I've traveled a lot, and so I go to different cities, and the thing that I like about Omaha is that, like I said, you can't find too many cities outside of major cities where you can find 5 black businesses on one street. We have that here, So there's a lot of history of black businessmen here that I think that we should put under the microscope and that we can all learn from.
Yeah.
We might not like some of the things they might have done or whatever, but when you see a black man owning gas stations with liquor stores in them,
right,
detail shops that do 20 cars a day at $150 per car.
Major contracts.
Exactly, major contracts and things like that. Those are things we should study, man. Turn the Facebook off, turn Instagram off, and become a researcher. And that's what's been my strong point. It saved me many a times.
Right, doing the knowledge.
Doing the knowledge. So I love that about here. And any other city you go to, you got Arabs on every corner sucking the dollars out of our community, and they don't even have no respect for us.
Don't have no respect, don't even live in the community.
Right, and don't even live in the community. And I go in there and I say to myself every time, this is really another black man's business right here.
Right.
I think we do a disservice to our children when we don't allow them to see themselves on the other side of the counter.
Exactly. That's the main thing too.
Because we're a very visual people. We could read something, but if we see it, it's very more impactful to us. So
right, and you see how it's done. You see.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. One of the hardest workers I've ever had. Let's see. I'll be 51 next month. I've never worked a day in my life for another man ever since I was 17 years old. Now, the funny thing about that is this: the hardest work I ever had was a 4-year-old, though.
A 4-year-old.
Yeah, a 4-year-older, man. And she would come and she would help me, because I always did retail, sold clothes and things like that. I never want to sell nothing to my people that would tear them down.
Oh, yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? So she would come in and she could help you do everything, put your whole order together. The only thing is so say your order was your total was $100, she might give you $300 back in change. But other than that, man, she be doing everything. And so I just think it's important for us to train kids on entrepreneurship, man. Clear entrepreneurship, things that are honest and something that they could learn from. I feel like we've been boxed into a situation where they don't want us to succeed.
It's like we got trained to be workers.
We got trained,
really
exactly. We're never trained to be the owner. It's funny you should say that, because I would hope that everyone should want to be an owner of something, because there's a certain pride that goes with that.
Right.
And that pride will take you a long way. I didn't say arrogance, but pride. There's pride in ownership. I got my first apartment when I was 16 years old, and I bought my first duplex when I was 18 years old. On my 18th birthday, I was at a closing table. And what's funny is my oldest daughter will be 36, and I would pick her up every day and take her to school, and so we would talk in the car.
Right.
She did the exact same thing I did. 16, she got her own apartment. 18, she was sitting at the closing table. Now she went on to finish college and become what she wanted to become.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it taught me that the kids are watching us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And okay, if you don't have any kids, cool, be whatever you want to be. But if you have children, then I think we should set the example of showing them that learn to create your own opportunities.
Right.
You know, learn to create them. I don't think that there is a lack of opportunity out here for people to be successful on their own. I just think that there's a lack of creativity to be.
So what would be what do you think some of the challenges are? Like say, okay, like a person like me, say I have a little bit of experience. I might have messed up, you know, my past or whatever. Like I got a felony or something like that.
Right.
Like what do you see as being the obstacles that might prevent me from moving forward?
Well, I don't see any obstacles.
Right.
I don't see any obstacles. I mean, okay, there's certain things you might not be able to do because you have a felony. Almost all black men have a felony.
Right.
I think our problem is this. How long does it take a gazelle to know that the lion is his enemy?
Not long.
Not long at all. Almost
They know
off
that
the
from
dribble.
birth. Yeah, they know that from birth.
Soon as they see on site, roller skates on.
They gotta go.
They gotta go. See, we don't recognize our enemy.
Right.
Now, once you recognize him, then you work around him. Okay, so I know that that's his job to give me a felony and ruin my future.
Right.
That's what he signs up for. That's what he does. 95% of white males are prosecutors.
Right.
95%. That's like absolute.
Right.
But our job is to use our creativity to do things that don't require that type of stuff. Like,
exactly.
I got a felony when I was 18. I'm 51.
Right.
And that felony never stopped me from buying a house. I bought several houses.
See, and that's the thing. That's why I even said that, because I know a lot of brothers that they say, okay, I got a felony.
Okay.
So I can't do this. I probably,
Right.
you know, it's like they put these limitations on themselves. That's why I think it's important for a person like you to be out in the forefront, because, like, I can think whatever I want to think, but if I see you doing it,
Right,
then it's
exactly.
like I know.
Right, exactly. There's ways around everything. I mean, if you want to go their route, then just get it expunged.
Right. Right.
You know, only there's 3 bureaus, just like there's 3 credit bureaus, there's 3 law enforcement bureaus. When you expunge a felony, it's going to be on 2 of them, and then they're going to leave it on 1 just in case. So there's a lot of things you will be able to do, but then there's a couple things you won't be able to do, like get a liquor license or you know, maybe a gun permit or whatever. But everything else,
Like you should be. Like
you'll
if I want to
be
open a grocery
good
store.
after you get off probation. But you have to do your due diligence and go down and do the paperwork. Every black man, woman, and child should be 2 things: their own doctor and their own lawyer.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You
We
gotta make
must
something.
have the total package. I mean, if that's not for you, great. But in a survivalist mode where I get it, I feel like we don't look at things the way they really are. Somebody has clogged our vision for us.
Definitely.
And
I definitely agree with that.
exactly. And if we don't, like I say, I tell my son every day, read more, succeed more.
Right. I believe
That's
that
your
definitely.
out in life.
Right.
Reading.
I'm an avid reader, so I definitely
Reading.
agree with that.
You want to remain teachable at all times. Always become the student.
Definitely. I mean, the more you know, it really truly opens your world up.
Thank you.
Because you know, like, I know that I can do that.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter what obstacles I come across, who's trying to stop me. It doesn't even matter, you know. I gotta tell people, like, I study history. They say, oh, it's depressing. I study history so that I can know, like, okay, this person had this obstacle. They did A, B, and C. You know, or you might just see the story and say, well, really, he just didn't quit. He didn't really know what he was doing. He just said, you know what, I'm gonna do it.
That's the one thing I can say about Donald Trump. They threw everything at that dude, the kitchen sinks. I swear to God, when they were going to Herman Caning with the mistresses, I was like, if this dude survives the mistress bandwagon, he can survive
He
anything.
can survive anything. And you're right about that, man. That's what I
That's
what I
the
seen.
storyline right there. All that rest of the stuff is what it is. Me in politics, I don't really play the politics game because it's kind of comical in reality, but
Yeah, when you really look at it.
when you really look at it, it's kind of like a joke or whatever. Like you see all these millions of people go line up and get their little sticker, but then on the back end, only 538 people decide who really the winner is.
Right.
I could have
right.
avoided the standing in line and doing all of that.
Exactly.
I
think it's more important for
it's
my bad.
symbolic or whatever.
Yeah, it is symbolic. But I think it's more important for us to be involved with local politics. You know what I'm saying?
I would definitely say control your local politics.
Because like we could get together right now and say, hey, we want this guy to be on the city council in our district.
Right.
And so you're only talking about 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 votes.
Right.
Like we can affect that. Like
We can affect
president,
that.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like especially if you're a Democrat in Nebraska, it's like.
But I think we're probably a little beyond that right now, a little bit. And I'm just saying, thinking long term or whatever.
Right.
Let's get out of the game of politics. It's a dirty game.
It is.
And let's get to something that really wins for us.
Right.
You know, that our us leading by example will sway anybody's opinion. I'm not saying don't put a guy in there. Great. The more control we have, the better off. I'm not saying that. But I think the bigger picture is we got to own it all, man. Every square inch of it, and you can't buy in.
Yeah, definitely.
Period.
No, I definitely
because
agree with you.
I'm
with
not
that.
saying it like we got to do what every other successful race of people do.
Yeah, you got to come
They
together.
gave us the blueprints, and we don't want to trace inside the lines on it.
I think it's part of our nature, though.
To not trace inside the lines?
No, to want to be inclusive, to want to teach other people, to not really be hateful. You know, that's not really our thing.
Right.
Like, the most including people I know are black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know black people who got every race of friends. They don't look at them differently like that. Whereas other races, it's like, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I got Jewish friends who it's like, okay, I have one job. That's my friend, but I'm going to give it to my Jewish friend that I know. He's not really my friend, though, but I know that he needs it. So I'm going to help him. You know, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, you know?
I'm never saying it's a bad thing, but when you have nothing and you're giving to somebody else, then that's when, I think it's a little bit, I agree with you. I spent my whole life kind of wanting more for people than they wanted for themselves.
Yeah, I have that same problem.
But I see us so far down on the totem pole that we can't really give nobody else nothing right now because we done gave you everything. Come on, man. When you work 1,000 years for somebody for nothing, how do you feel like not giving to your own at this given point in time? I would love to do for everybody, but the reality is we ain't had nothing.
Yeah, we don't have nothing. We gotta build our stuff.
Exactly.
Up. I definitely agree with that, man.
And if we are able to just, for a small time, I'm not even saying we can go back to the buffoonery, but if we could just come up together just for a decade, if nothing else, just to show the kids a different picture. That's it. We can walk around how we want to, act like the weekends is made for Michelob, all we want to, but for the sake of the kids, man, like, we just got to show them something different, man. If not, man, them people got something for us. When you can't recognize that somebody is all things to you, these people are your landlord, they're your boss, they're your grocery store owner, they're your everything, your doctor, your lawyer.
Right.
I mean, you don't see nothing wrong with that
Punisher,
movie.
like,
Exactly.
everything.
They're everything to us.
Right.
And we're nothing to ourselves, really.
Right. And that's where the problem comes in at. That's exactly where the problem comes in at to me.
I respect all races of people. In my life, I've met all kinds of people. You know what I'm saying? But I think when we fail to realize that there's someone that is working on our demise 24/7, they've never let up off of us, that's something different right there. That's all I'm saying.
And you say it right. You got to recognize it, though. That's the thing, because a lot of people, I don't think they recognize that.
They don't recognize it. I'm not mad at nobody. I get it. That's what you're supposed to do if you want to be number one. We don't know what it feels like to be number one. It's like driving a Rolls Royce. You don't know what it feels like to drive a Rolls Royce every day just as your trap car to get from A to B.
Right.
You don't know, so you don't miss that.
Exactly.
But see, they've been number one so long. What if they wasn't number one for a little while? How would somebody feel if they had to be in the number 5 position like us?
Yeah. Well, I think it would be a different outcome.
That's
I
all
don't
I'm
think
saying.
that it would be so smooth
I
sailing.
get it. There's we want to act like the weekends are made for Michelob, and these people are in Hail Mary pass position.
Right.
Because they know they're intelligent people. They're not people that are waiting around for a story to come true. We're the people that are waiting around for a story to come true.
Right. Right. Instead of putting in the hard work and making it happen. Because I see it. I see that it's like a prime. It's perfect because everybody's spending money. Well, they're spending more than they have or not. So if you're gonna spend all of this money, why not spend it with each other? I seen a thing that was talking about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
And they said that a dollar changed hands 32 times
Before it left the community. So that means if you got $1,000, it feels like $33,000.
33,000.
So imagine if every $1,000 you've ever touched in your life feels like 33,000. So 3,000 feels like 99,000.
Exactly. It just rotates.
That's that Rolls Royce effect I'm talking about.
Right.
But since you never felt it, you don't miss it.
So what do you think that we could do to start manifesting that, to bring that to everybody's attention?
Well, there's one thing that we could do, and it might sound kind of ridiculous to some, but I'm like a numbers guy
go
more
for
than
it.
anything. So no disrespect to nobody. It's just an opinion. Blacks, they spend, I think, on estimate, $4.2 billion. We spend $1 trillion annually. They spend $4.2 billion in tithes and offering.
Right.
Okay. We're in a country with 300 million. We make up 12%, so we're roughly 30 million. Now you do the math to me. You take 30 million and divide it into 4.2 billion. And if we just didn't give them that tithe and offering, every person in our community would be a millionaire tomorrow. Just off of that one. So imagine if we brought in the hair money that they spend.
Right. And that's a lot.
And you tell me what our community would look like if for just 10 years, the money that we gave the churches and the Koreans with the hair, which is trillions of dollars, and just poured it in our community, you tell me what our community would look like.
Look completely different.
Everybody would have a Rolls Royce. Everybody.
Yeah. And we could, schools,
Everything,
service programs.
everything. You tell me with just that money alone, just that.
We could do a lot.
We could do a whole bunch right up under our noses in less than 10 years. But you know what? It'll never happen.
People love the idea of hoping, and wishing.
It'll never happen. So we could change everything tomorrow.
I think it just takes like-minded people. That's what it takes. It don't take a lot. Like I think that's where a lot of people they get discouraged because they feel like, okay, we got to get everybody to do this. We got to get everybody.
No, we won't be able to get everybody.
We just need a small
on board.
percentage.
We need a small percentage. That's the only way because
Pardon.
I feel like, and it's just my opinion though, but I feel like for us, it's like a marathon. We all kind of might have would have started at number 1 in pole position, but people have finished way before us. The marathon is over, and then here we come after they done moved the mechanical horses and swept up the confetti.
Everything's done. Popcorn's cleaned up and all.
All that gone, and then here we come.
Right.
And I just want to see that change. Like, I feel like it's not all doom and gloom. We got history on our side. Like me, I love history too.
Right.
It's just I love history before Constantine and the first council of Nicaea.
Right, definitely.
I love that history.
Yeah.
I don't like the history after 325.
Right. Well, they had a little glitters with the Moors,
They had glitter with the Moors or whatever.
But
that was it.
I agree with you.
I
like the whole scope.
It was fireworks. It just went up pretty but it came down dust.
Yeah. And that's what we see in the world right now, though, is the backlash from that era. Because it's like once you get cut off from the world, you're like, okay, I'm never gonna let this happen again. And that's the system that I feel like we living under now. It's like, because people don't really understand, it's like a lot of stuff that's happening now is based off of treaties that's 200, 300, 400, 500 years old.
Yeah, but
or
people
lessons from
don't
that
read
time.
old treaties though.
Right.
The attention span of the people.
I just now got
dumbed
into it
down.
myself recently.
Yeah. They don't. I mean, you have to read. Like it's all in there. Everything is in there. Like I said, every person. I don't even really care what color you is. You should want to be a doctor and a lawyer yourself, just for the sake of your own survival.
Right.
You know.
Right. I had a brother tell me that before too. He said, "Man, you should be going in there and you should be the #1 lawyer in the world. You're the #1 target of the law,
Exactly,
of the justice system.
Exactly.
You don't know too much.
You don't know too much. It's a turkey shoot.
Yeah, it made me think like, damn, you're right.
Yeah, nah, man. I study law every day, man. Even if I'm helping customers, I got the iPad. I got I'm always researching, man. While they watching football games and while they sitting around with the love and hip hoppers and all of that stuff, man, I'm researching and reading, man. That's just me. Like I'm researching. I don't read fiction.
Right. Yeah, I don't either. I don't really either.
I don't read fiction, but law I love. I've come to learn constitutional law. I feel like that's some of our freedom that we're gonna have to use in order to get these bar buzzards up off of our backs.
Right. So, okay, where exactly is your shop located?
We're on
I don't wanna leave
30th.
that out.
We're on 30th and Ames. I've owned a couple businesses in this city. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, it starts small, man. Everybody started small. Zuckerberg and them started small. Gates, everybody starts small.
Right.
You know,
Right.
even if you work for somebody else, when you get off work, you and your husband, your wife or whatever, try to become some sort of a power couple. Don't just build other people's dreams.
Exactly.
You know,
Invest in yours.
Exactly. Your kids, y'all get off work, start a little small business. I don't care if you're cleaning gutters and basements or killing bed bugs.
Right.
You
For
know
real.
what I'm saying?
I definitely feel that. Well, Mr. Khalil,
Thank
gotta
y'all,
say
man.
it's an
I ain't trying
honor.
to
Thank you, sir.
make
Thank
nobody
you.
mad. It's just all opinion. And thank y'all, man.
Oh no, you good to go.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, it's great for you to be here, man. I really truly appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Well, fam, it's another episode of Universal. Oh, I'm sorry, I just butchered that, right? Well, thanks for joining the Voice of Reason. I'm your host, Kilo Slim, Mr. Kalil. If you want to add on to the conversation, you can reach us at our many social media sites, and peace.
World, just got a few things I'm trying to clarify. I want to share with you a little bit about my, way I be conjuring up my thoughts. I want to talk to Google. I want to talk to Sirius. I just got a couple questions, like, first, I want to know, like, a lot of people just always got different questions they want to ask. That's me, you, everybody asks intelligent questions. I got a question I want to ask. Who's smarter than a smartphone? I'll give you a second to just, kind of let that, I can repeat it, but, let's just go forward with some more questions, like people do things for no reason. And it's really kind of difficult to put it in play, but, why do stupid people do stupid things? Why are some people too smart for their own good? How do you tell a streetlight to stand still when they do it already? It's some things you got to be real firm on some of this stuff that that you come out your mouth. It got to be solid like concrete. It breaks, but it still maintains to hold itself together. You can still drive down the road. But just things that just always just twirl in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Why pay an electricity bill and you leave the TV on all day? Just another one. I just got questions. I need answers. Pure point blank. I don't really claim to be the smartest. Think I'm the smartest. I just got a lot of things I want to know. If you're gonna follow somebody, follow the right leader. Just little things, just little bubbles that pop in and out of my head. I don't know where they come from. They came from up there. I don't know. It's just me in my mind, It's just the way I think, you know what I'm saying? And I can give you a jump, but, it's up to you to keep the car running. So if I give you a piece of information, why not just take it and run with it? Why not just, just let it go in and go out the other ear? You can't be stupid, simple, or slow. You know, you gotta be able to put it all in clear formation, you know? I don't know, maybe I might be talking out the side of my neck or, you know, I'm not gonna say that. But, you know, it's not what I'm speaking, you know? Be Kleenex all you want. All you want, be Kleenex. And you can be the but just sits there. You feel me? You gotta flush that down the toilet so it don't move, it just falls down. I'm not gonna get too graphic and I ain't gonna get too much into detail, but check the show out. You know, come and discuss whatever you want to discuss. It's called Voices of a Reason for a reason. You're the reason. So just check us out, and I don't know when you'll see me again, but just remember, don't be stupid, simple, or slow. I'm Will, and I'm signing out. Have a good one.